Hello, I'm David Grayson, and I'm the Professor of Corporate Responsibility in the Cranfield School of Management. For most of my 10 years at Cranfield, I've combined my day job with looking after first my elderly dad up in Sheffield and then my mum. And like most people who are looking after a loved one, I didn't think of myself as a carer. I was just a son trying to do his inadequate best to help his parents. I'm one of 6.5 million Britons who at any one time are looking after a loved one. Every single day, 6,000 new carers start on their caring journey. That's about 2.1 million Britons every year. Almost the same number, slightly less, cease to be a carer each year. So there's a great churn. And one of the big questions is, how do we help those people who are juggling their job with caring for a loved one? And that caring for a loved one may be, as in my case, elderly parents or other elderly relatives. It may be a partner with a long-term condition, or it may be a disabled son or daughter or sibling, or a good friend or neighbour. How do we help the 1 in 9 people in the average UK workforce who will be juggling their work and their caring responsibilities? After all, the peak age for caring can be around the mid to late 40s to mid 60s. And that's very often the peak kind of expertise and commitment to organisations that no wise organisation wants to lose. So it makes business sense in terms of retention of talent, as well as demonstrating that the organisation is a responsible, enlightened employer if employers do support their working carers. And there are lots of practical things that organisations can do, starting with identifying just who are their current working carers, consulting them on the practical things that would make a difference, carer-proofing existing human resources policies, making sure that there is line management training in place. If you think that the average line manager will have 8-10 direct reports, then for most line managers, at least one member of their team will be a working carer. Making sure that the organisation has included advice and information about caring in the general advice and information available to employees. Some of the leading organisations now have carers networks, just like you have an LGBT network or a network for disabled employees. And some organisations are now including support for carers as part of their employee assistance programmes. This is part of creating the agile workforce of the 21st century, recognising that as populations around the world age and as governments around the world are having to cut back on the publicly funded, paid for social services, there's going to be a bigger obligation on all of us to help look after family and friends. It's not an easy thing, but as I look back now at the end of my caring journey, I'm fairly clear, in fact very clear, that of all the things I've done on nearly 62 years on this planet, caring for my parents has been and probably will be for the rest of my life the most important thing that I've done. And I think many other carers feel the same way. And if employers can make it that much easier for people to combine their caring for a loved one with their job, we all win.